Sweet 16, a time where I thought a new car would be showing up with a bow. With a birthday today, what is coming as far as surprises? Let's find out. New Day Northwest starts right now.
It's a new day.
Now, from the Virginia Mason Franciscan Health Studio at King 5 in downtown Seattle, this is New Day Northwest.
It's a new day.
Celebrating 16 years.
It's so great to have you here.
From day one,
We hope this will be a show where everybody feels welcome.
over the years,
I'm just overcome with gratitude that you welcome me into your homes.
to now. Welcome to New Day. I'm Kelly Hansen.
It's a new day, Northwest.
New Day starts now.
Have a great new day. We'll see you next time.
It's a new day. And remember, you never know when lightning will strike. It's our Sweet 16. This year marks 16 years since New Day Northwest first went on air with Margaret Larson as the host. So today we're looking back while also throwing ourselves a 16th birthday party. Cue the music, the celebrations, watch 16 candles. Just enjoy today with us because it's going to be so special looking back over the years. Before we get to some special guests today, I'm reflecting when I turned 16, and I will say there was no new car showing up with a bow, just a Honda minivan that you see there if I wanted to take those wheels for a spin. I remember also failing my written test for the first time, a bit of an overthinker back then and now, but I did crush my actual driving test. I also wasn't in a rush to get my license because of these friends here. They were a little older than me. My birthday is at the end of July, so a lot of them had new cars and I relied on them for rides around town. And I do remember though my high school boyfriend, Bennett, shout out to you if you're watching. He went to the rival high school, Redmond High. He was a basketball player, so that was a hot topic with my guy friends back in the day. There we are. And the sweetest guy who would write me poems and even carved out what you're seeing there, a heart out of a tree, okay? They say romance is dead. I say I have a bad memory, but I do remember some things: homecoming dances, getting ready with the girls, and even those epic prom looks. Yes, that is a pink sequins dress that I'm in. Wow, extra much. And as I think back to the year that I turned 16, some of the popular songs: Into Club, 50 Cent, Crazy in Love, Beyonce, Yeah by Usher, and Toxic by Britney Spears. Those are all bangers. And you know, celebrating your Sweet 16 should be a sweet experience no matter the occasion. Maybe you are turning 16 or celebrating 16 years of marriage, a work anniversary, or even 16 years with your bestie. There's so many reasons to throw a party, and we aren't planning anything if my first guest isn't involved. She spent years on New Day planning parties, and so of course we tasked her with this one. 425 Magazine's Monica Hart.
Hello. Happy 16.
Thank you.
My goodness.
You know, and
Love
we,
it.
not too long ago, celebrated our Sweet 16, right? It was just a few years ago.
Just a minute ago. Higher math at this point, but it's okay. I'm still here.
We're both still here. How was your Sweet 16? Do you have any memories
I do
of
have
it?
a memory of just gathering with my family. They made a beautiful meal, and I remember for some reason this paper big yellow flower, and I had it up on my little poster board for years. No car for me though.
Yeah, no car for either one of us. That's okay. We asked for a Sweet 16 party, and of course you went above and beyond. This is a party though that can meet a lot of Sweet 16.
Right. Work anniversary, wedding anniversary, Sweet 16. But I wanted it to be easy and cost effective. And you got to kick things off with a marquee light over here,
Oh,
okay?
cute.
Nothing says party like a marquee light. You can find these online, different sizes, different price points, but really inexpensive. That's kind of a fun way to go.
Definitely.
So get things started, get the party started, but then you also want to do a music playlist, right?
Yes.
So if you were to do a Sweet 16 party, what might be your favorite song?
Oh my gosh.
I'm saying Dua Lipa, Dance the Night Away, or Celebration, throwing it back to that one. But what about you?
You have such cute
Yeah?
ideas. I feel like I just am thinking back to when I was 16, because all
Sure.
those songs I said, like It's Your Birthday, 50 Cent, and Britney Spears,
Yeah.
anything that kind of takes me back to that time.
Yeah, I love that.
Anything you can dance to.
Absolutely.
For
Anything's
sure.
danceable. We
Yes,
love it. Okay.
it's true. And then let's talk beverages, because it's all about making it pretty and sweet, right?
Right. I was thinking of doing something that could be a mocktail or a cocktail. So this is a butterfly pea blossom tea mocktail or cocktail. And this is the tea bag. And check this out, this beautiful indigo color.
I know.
Isn't that? And it's all natural. It's got an earthy kind of flavor to it. I've added some of our honey from our honeybees.
Yes, no
because-
sugar, no gluten, vegan.
Right, but I
Okay.
added honey from my honeybees. But this is a magical drink, and I'm going to show you why. And I think the kids would kind of dig it. So, and grown-ups too. So this is actually fresh lemon, because tea and lemon, that's a natural combo, right? So together, let's pour a little splash in there.
Okay,
Ready?
just
And
a
see. Watch
splash?
what happens to this. Wait, let's wait for them.
Okay.
Ready? Let's
Okay,
go.
and go. Oh,
Woo,
changes
it changes color. Let's go.
To my favorite color, darling. Is
Yes.
this a warm drink too, or are you putting it on ice?
I'm putting it on ice because you could have it ice. I would want it to be iced tea. You could put a little spirit in there, and then of course you want to do, find some more of this little signage and put that in there.
Well, we got to try this, and
Well,
cheers, as we
cheers.
always do.
Well, there's no spirit in it, but we are
Hey.
spirited, okay?
I know, and
Yeah.
a mocktail. I'm all in on the
Yeah,
mocktails
okay.
lately.
Very
Ooh.
earthy. Very earthy.
I
Yeah,
really
hint of
like
lemon.
that. And oh my gosh, that was so fun. Okay.
And also, I find signage online.
Oh,
so
to dress up.
Yes, to dress up. Just order online, Sweet 16. It's
Yeah.
easy to do.
And I want to
Okay.
talk about gifts too, what you're thinking for the 16th anniversary
Well, this is
theme.
kind of interesting because hollowware, which is silver hollowware, like this bowl, that's for a 16th anniversary or birthday. Yeah, like flatware is flat. Silver, this is like
Hollow.
Yeah, and anytime you put chips or anything in a vintage silver bucket, it's automatically like festive and a party. Another thing for 16 is wax. Yeah, sorry, wax. Yeah.
Wax.
So I got a really fun beeswax candle because I'm a beekeeper
That would
over
be
here.
a nice gift,
Yes.
actually.
And I love this. This is 16, but these are actually beeswax as well. And beeswax actually purifies the air, and so it's healthy when you burn it and stuff like that. And last but not least, this is sea lavender, and that is the flower or the floral thing associated with a 16th anniversary or birthday.
And
So-
you did like a dry floral arrangement, so
yeah, I
this is
couldn't
something
find the
that
fresh,
collabed.
so but I found it dry. It'll last forever, right?
I know.
Yeah, so yeah.
like your marriage or anniversary, whatever you want to say, in a nice
Yeah.
card. That would be touching.
I love that.
Okay, keeping the fare simple, you have a pizza idea here.
Yeah, because pizza is really easy, and everybody loves pizza. You can get all these different flavors, but why not putting it into individual boxes? These are so cute. You get them online. They look like this when you get them.
Okay, a little flat.
Yeah, they're flat. And then, you just fold it up and you slap a little tag on it, and that's kind of fun. And
These
then
are cute.
slide your pizza of choice in there. You can stack them all up. And it's just, makes it fancy. It's nothing, but it makes it fancy because I wanted to do something that could go across the board, and also it's not hugely expensive. It doesn't break the
Yeah,
bank.
not a huge
So
list.
there's a fun idea.
You love demos too, to do something at the party, actually.
Right,
so
that's
you
the
have
thing.
this.
It's an entertaining trend for 2026. People want to get together and eat, but they want an activity,
Yeah.
like making Legos, games. And so we're going to make our own floral arrangements. And so you'd have your guests come, and then so go ahead and grab one or two of these and pop it into each one. You have your guests come to the party, you have all these flowers laid out, and they say, hey, grab a few, make a little arrangement, and check out the lights in there. This is so much fun. These lights are submergible, and they're battery operated. They are look like this. And so they're really cool, but you just don't put this part, the mechanism, in the water.
Right.
So imagine if you had 30 people and you had those dancing down the table, super inexpensive, and it would just light up the night as you dance the night away, right?
This is so cute. You get to take something home
Right.
too, which
It's
is
a
always so
perfect
special.
takeaway. So, and I love it in a little mason jar. You can get inexpensive glassware. So it's something, again, you get up the next morning and you remember the 16th celebration, whatever it was. So that's kind of cool. And I have something poignant. I'm
I
just going to
know.
read this because
So-
I thought about you guys when I saw this. So go ahead.
This is so cute. So it
Listen.
says happy work anniversary, 16 years. It goes through 192 months, 835 weeks, and so forth. Thank you for your 16 years of service and dedication to our team. May you be proud of the work that you do, the person you are, and the difference that you make.
That is so cool. And New Day, you certainly have done that to this market and everybody who's been touched by and I'm so grateful to be a small part of it. So thank you so much.
You are
Thank
a big part of it, and thank you for always being a friend of New Day over the years
Absolutely.
and coming on.
Happy
and
birthday.
everyone knows
It's your
I love a
birthday.
motivational quote. So to end on such a poignant note
Yeah.
is so special.
Yeah. God
Thank you. You're the best. And still ahead on this special episode of New Day Northwest, we're celebrating all hour long. I helped decorate our birthday cake with some help from West Seattle's Honeycomb Cake Studio. You're going to love her designs. And nothing says Sweet 16 like prom dress shopping. All the feels, from arguing with mom about budget and skirt length to finding the look that makes you feel fabulous. Of course, Darcy's here with the best dress ideas.
but how do you wear one? I don't think anybody really knows how to. We have them in our closets, but we don't use them because we don't know how. Stylist Darcy Camden is here to show us how to make it all work. And a scarf is so cool because in these times when maybe we're not buying a lot of new clothes, easy way to get a pop of color, change an outfit, right?
Absolutely. Wearing a scarf is one of the most inexpensive ways to completely change your entire look.
That was, of course, stylist Darcy Camden 16 years ago on New Day. Look at those bangs. She's been with New Day from the beginning. She actually started with scarves on the show, like you're seeing with Margaret. And 16 years later, we're talking prom. And few things scream Sweet 16, like going to prom. So many memories. But you don't go dress shopping without this lady. Insert Darcy without bangs.
Oh, thank you for finding that. That was
Yes.
like such a cool memory for me. I mean, that was a long time ago. I'm not embarrassed by that. I love that girl. I mean, who cares what she's even talking about? Look at her skin. I look so good.
You should never ever be. I'm so glad you said that because exactly, like that girl would be so proud, and she was then and now, and how cool.
So cute. Shockingly unpolished for having already been on TV for 4 years before I started doing this show. But you know, what's also hilarious is that we were talking about scarves, and you and I talked about that like last week.
Oh yes.
So we're still doing it.
Everything,
We're still
all the
figuring out
trends,
scarves.
everything's coming back around.
Okay, but to prom.
I know prom dress shopping. What is your approach this time?
Well, go in person. Go into the stores, see the dresses. It's really, really tempting to do all of this online. But I think it's really important to touch fabric, see the quality of detail, and it's really like an important moment for parents and kids to come together. And, you know, this is usually like a team effort. Like we need parents to pay for it usually, and you know and everybody wants to feel pretty and good in what they wear to prom.
Yeah, and to leave happy and not have anyone upset.
And I didn't know what the trends are, because it's been a long time since I went to prom. This all day it's making me feel very old. But like I wanted to get out and see like what the trends are for all the kids this year, and I learned a lot, and I'm going to share it all with everybody today.
Okay, well, we got to see these dresses. We're starting with trend number 1, vintage romance. We're going to see a pic. This is the inspo.
A lot of the trends for prom are really inspired by what we have just seen on all of the red carpets, like award season red carpet. And so vintage, and to kids these days, the 90s and the 2000s is considered vintage, but we're also going a layer back from that to like the 50s and 60s. So details like brocade,
beautiful,
satin.
beautiful.
It's a little bit more of like a modest silhouette, which some kids want and some parents want also. I read that yellow is the least selected color of dress.
What? I love yellow.
So if you are somebody who wants to have something different from everybody else, and I know a lot of schools have Instagrams where they're posting, everyone posts their dress so that nobody wears the same thing. If you want something really different, maybe think for yellow. And I'm going to have her turn around really quickly because I want to show a detail here that's a big trend. It's the lattice back. So not only is this a big trend, but this is a great way to get a really customized fit without needing alterations. So if you are getting your dress sort of last minute, then this is a really good way to do that without needing to send your dress to alts.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And trend 2, princess moment. This was me.
A lot of girls want their dramatic princess moment, looking at people on the red carpet. This is the big dress. This is the tulle. This is the detail. And we found it. We've got
gorgeous.
It's floral applique, so it's sort of like a 3D floral. We'll have a link to all of these dresses, but I want everyone to just know in general trend. I could have picked of a dozen different dresses that were sort of similar to this. We did put this with a cute sneaker though, so
Comfy.
I think kids these days are a little smarter than maybe I was when we tried to always wear heels. But I think this is a really cute way to like wear a little sneaker, especially if your dress covers the shoe anyway. Like why suffer?
So stunning, so smart. And we're moving to trend 3, intricate sweet sequins.
This was really big on the red carpet. There was a lot lot of sort of minimalist silhouette, but the detail was the sequin and the beading, and you hear celebrities on the red carpet talk about how something took months and months to make by hand. I think you really can achieve that look. Beading, really a big trend. Sequin, sparkle.
Love
This is it's so pretty under the lights. It's got such great
shimmer,
movement, really, really beautiful detail. A little peek behind the curtain here. We did have to clamp the back of her dress because it was a little bit. So just another really good reminder to parents and teens about going and trying things on in person. If she would have ordered this online, it arrives. It would need a little bit of alterations. And so an alteration like that, taking the sleeves up, really doable, should cost you somewhere between maybe $20 and $30, and it would take probably about a week and a half to complete.
Thank you so much. All the models looking amazing. I want to get to our last two, trend for modern and minimal.
So this is a little bit the opposite of Princess Moment. It's really, really sleek. It's modern, and there's usually a little detail to make it feel special. But we all loved this dress so much.
Obsessed.
Backstage. Super, super comfortable, really danceable. We did start her in a high heel. All the girls agreed that they start in a high heel for pictures, and then they do sort of transition to either a sneaker or a sandal for dancing. But love this. Also, all of my dresses today are under $200.
Thank you so much.
Do we have one
love
more?
that. One more, new Hollywood glam.
And this was the theme of the SAG Awards. Everyone on the red carpet doing a new take on old Hollywood glam. So this is satin bodice. I do have to call out the color green because I think it looks exquisite in photos. I tell this to people going to weddings also too, that green is sort of a universally beautiful color on everyone. It photographs so well. And this is comfortable. It's beautifully detailed. And I think that it's not something that you'd be embarrassed to see 20 years later.
Well, that's the thing. Some of my friends have kept their prom dresses because you can wear it 20 years later.
You can't really go wrong with something that's a solid color, satin, beautiful silhouette.
My sequins pink dress, yes.
That was a moment in time.
That was a moment in time. All of those beautiful. Thank you to all of our gorgeous models. Thank you to you for being a friend for New Day for so long.
16 years.
16 years, baby. Let's bring the bangs back. And we're pulling out all the stops for New Day Sweet 16. Next up, I learned to decorate our birthday cake with some help from a West Seattle cake studio. Oh, amazing. That's Team New Day when we were all 16 many, many years ago. But now, what's a birthday party without cake? And it isn't your average birthday cake. We're here with Honeycrumb Cake Studio owner and pastry chef Carla Callahan. Thank you so much for bringing the dessert.
You're welcome.
This looks like art. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to help you, I understand, decorate today,
Yes,
right?
I know. I gave you a little fun challenge, Kelly.
It's going to be a challenge.
It is definitely a vintage-inspired cake, as you can tell.
So big right now.
It's a super big trend. I guess it's coming back because when I was a kid, this is the kind of cake that people were buying and going into the bakery and looking at in the display case and staring at weddings with all the pillars and things. These ones do not have pillars, but we are gonna put a little bit of detail on the top and the sides.
All right.
I've given you a pastry bag.
You have. You've clipped it, which makes it easier for me.
I have clipped it so that you don't feel like the buttercream is coming back up onto you and it's only going in one direction. I'm gonna do a little demo for you here. I spared you the project of having to write out Happy Sweet 16
in cursive. That
New Day
is
Northwest,
very intricate.
because that requires no caffeine and a steady hand.
Fair.
All right, so we're gonna start, I guess, at the back of this cake.
Okay.
Because if you want to start on yours at the back, that's a good place to go. I always like to go back first, and that way the front of the cake gets to be the pretty side, because that's
I'm
the
even
part
going
where
to
you've already
practice on
practiced.
this while you go.
And you can definitely give it a practice shot on
Okay.
here, which is a tip I recommend for all people starting out with cake decorating.
Yes.
Give yourself a chance to get the muscle memory. And I'm gonna just pipe here and squeeze and then release. And I'm essentially piping a blob that's got a little taper. And then I'm gonna pipe the next blob over the top of where I tapered that off. And then as I continue, you can see
Not bad.
that little blob sequence is forming a pattern. In pastry, we actually call this a snail trail, which is sort of a terrible, weird term, but essentially it means that you're covering the trace of what you just piped with the new blob on top. So you make your way around.
Wait, I'm very excited
And
with how
I
this
love
is going
that it
so
looks-
far.
So
Okay.
what's happening on yours is you're piping directly, which is creating a ruffle, which is another way to
Oh.
use this piping tip. So you've already given it an embellishment.
Oh, geez.
You've elaborated upon the basic technique that I taught you, and you're doing something more advanced. I love that.
Am I? Oh, wow.
You are.
See, I didn't even.
And it looks beautiful. And then
Okay,
we're going
what
to carry
else?
on the top, so you can repeat that. And I'm going to copy your trick, and I'm going to just pipe straight up blobs
Straight up blob.
on the top.
It's nice to start from the back because if you mess up, you can hide it. But
Exactly.
But we're not going to think about that because you said the cake can sense my fear. So we're just going to
Cakes always smell.
fake it till you make it.
They sense the mood and the emotional status of the person who is approaching them.
Tell us about the business too. You're in West Seattle while we're doing this.
Yes, I actually just moved my shop to West Seattle, and I had a 13-year, I guess, run in a commercial kitchen in Lower Queen Anne, which was obviously a lot of rent. I now bake
Yeah.
out of my own building, and I have a large space for cake decorating workshops where I teach people exactly what we're doing today, which is all this getting to grips with a piping bag for the first time, working on a cake, and then teaching yourself the life skill of being able to show up at a party or a celebration or a dinner and bring a beautiful cake that you decorated yourself. And I have teenage boys coming to my classes. I
Oh
have
my
people of all ages.
gosh.
I love teaching people the life skill of cake decorating. To me, it should be as basic as learning how to boil an egg and make some toast.
Heck
is-
yeah, I'm so proud
Right?
of myself right now. What
Look
kind
how
of cakes do
beautiful
you
that looks.
specialize in too?
So I do make a lot of these vintage cakes because it's sort of one of those areas of commerce where you have to cater to what people are asking for.
Yeah.
But if it's up to me, most of the cakes that I make are really elaborately decorated with handmade sugar flowers because that's my preferred art form. I make botanically correct flowers out of a medium called gum paste, which is an art form that I've been developing for my 16-year career so far. It gives me a lot of joy. It's something that I think in a world of automation is one thing that we have to try to preserve is these art forms that depend on the hand and the dexterity of a human.
Definitely.
That's one of those things that really gives me flow state, gives me joy. This is one of those things too, where if you're sitting and
This
piping
is
a
like,
cake for
just
3 hours.
listen to music and do this. This is so relaxing. I was so stressed about this because I didn't want to mess up our beautiful cakes that you brought.
Oh my goodness, and
I knew
look
it would
what
still taste okay, obviously, because you are in charge of that. But this is great. Also, where can people find you? How, like, because you're not just having cakes that people can buy every single day. They need to get in touch with you a couple days before.
Yep. Ideally, give me a week of notice if it's the off season. If it's May through September, it's peak wedding season.
Yep.
So you definitely want to book as far in advance as possible. If you give me 2 to 3 months of lead time, that's ideal for a big fancy wedding cake. And I'm going to give you this piping bag because you're so good at it. And now you can add some white embellishments if you want.
Oh my gosh.
If you
Fancy,
wanna
fancy.
try.
And you know what? I'm going to do that as we go to break. Thank you so much for being here. This was a lot of fun.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And up next, we're getting ready to test our driving knowledge from signs to signals to split-second decisions. It's time for Road Rules Challenge.
It's a new day.
What do you wish your 16-year-old self had known? Today, we're celebrating New Day Northwest's 16th birthday, and nothing says 16 like getting your driver's license. So buckle up. We're about to see who's really ready to hit the road. Maybe no one. It's time for Game On, Road Rules Challenge. Monica and Darcy are back, along with our favorite local historian, Felix Bonnell. And you all passed your driving test once upon a time, as did I. But do you think you've kept enough knowledge to pass the written test today? I am going to ask a series of multiple choice questions. Write your answer on the board, and when you hear the bell, there it is. Everyone's turning their boards around. Whoever wins gets a car air freshener.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
I want to clap for the
Bragging
prize.
rights.
Now we're
Two
talking.
bragging rights. That's good. Get your pens ready because this pop quiz starts right now. Question number 1. This roadside means A, merging traffic. B, all traffic must go straight. C,
Oh, no.
a side road intersects ahead. Or D, sharp right turn. Okay. 3, 2, 1, here we go. You guys all got it right. A side road intersects ahead. Okay, we're off to a great start. Number 2, when you reach an intersection with stop signs at all corners, you must yield the right of way to A, the drivers on your left, regardless of who got there first. B, all drivers who stopped at the intersection right before you. C, the driver on your right, regardless who got there first. Or D, all drivers approaching from the opposite direction. A, B, C, or D.
Okay.
All right, I'm thinking everyone's ready. Turn it around. B, you guys, everybody's like batting 100 right now.
Drivers.
This is great. Okay, third question.
Will this affect my insurance rates if I don't pass
It
this
should.
test?
Yeah, I hope Acura of Seattle's not gonna revoke my car.
Oh, God. Okay, number 3. If you drive a motor vehicle registered in Washington State, you must A, carry insurance only if you ride a motorcycle or a vehicle requiring a CDL license. B, carry insurance only if your vehicle is newer than 5 years. C, have liability insurance. Or D, carry insurance only if you are under the age of 18. If you drive a motor vehicle registered in Washington State, you must have what? You guys! What?
It's a banner day.
Great.
Yes.
This is going really well. Everyone
You do
got that
need to have-
right.
This
Winner,
segment's
winner.
sponsored by Allstate. You need to have
And get
insurance.
all of our
I hope you have
insurance
more than
out.
one air freshener
I
over
know,
there in
you're
that
right.
prospect.
Oh, God, we're going to need a tiebreaker.
Thank goodness we're all passing this.
Okay, a blank is the termination of a licensee's privilege to drive a motor vehicle. Revocation, A. Termination, B. C. Restriction, or D. Suspension.
Termination. A termination is termination.
3, 2, 1. Oh, Felix, you got this wrong. It was A. Okay,
Oh, no,
ladies.
that's an A. That's an A. No, see, that's an A. See, it's an A.
It's an A.
Yeah, see, I just,
Yeah, okay,
my
we
hand- my
have to break
handwriting-
the tie somehow.
My handwriting's terrible.
Oh, totally. Get it. Okay, number
Wait.
5, you guys. When driving on a freeway entrance ramp, you should look for a gap in freeway traffic by A, looking in both rear view and side view mirrors. B, looking in the inside rear view mirror only. C, looking in your mirrors and turning your head to look over your shoulder. And D, looking in the side view mirror only.
Don't you sort of just like close your eyes and done it?
Blind spot, what? You guys, yes. Okay, it's looking good.
When you drive, you have to look.
You have to look. When in doubt, look in the blind spot.
What's
We're
that
moving
called,
right
though?
along. You guys are
Okay.
crushing it. I would not be scared driving with any of you. I just want you all to
I
know
did
that.
miss one,
You
but-
only missed one, Felix. It's
Well,
okay.
this isn't a driving
6.
simulator.
The
And
driver
that-
in the picture is
Thankfully for
using
me.
hand signals to show that he is about to slow down or stop, turn left, yield to oncoming vehicles, or turn right. The driver in the picture is using hand signals to show that he is about to what?
I've seen this in real life, so I hope for all motorcyclists I'm right about this.
I'm wrong.
Oh, it was A. Slow down or stop. Good job. Okay.
Good job.
Number 7. If another driver cuts you off in traffic, you should A. Brake hard. B. Make eye contact with the other driver to let them know they are wrong.
Yes.
Oh yeah. C. Pull to the side of the road and stop. Or D. Slow down and give them room to merge in your lane.
I mean,
so many things you could do if
that's
a
a tough
driver
one.
cuts you off.
I feel like
But there's
it's-
only one answer, folks.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's D. Slow down and give them room to merge.
All right.
But yeah.
Really?
You know what you did.
It's true. You have to at least give them. If they give me a wave and say they apologize, I'm fine with
No,
it.
you gotta give
And then you gotta like.
That really makes them
Add a gesture to
Pull up
it.
alongside and look over and shake your head and stuff. And like,
Okay, anytime a driver wants to merge with other traffic, they should A, look for a 4-second gap, B, merge as fast as possible, C, merge only when other drivers have come to a complete stop, or D, wait until their lane ends before merging. You guys, we might have to do a tiebreaker the way things are going.
I don't know, I guess.
I don't even know what this is.
4-second gap.
You guys, you all got it right.
Oh,
hey!
good.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I know that you don't
Tiebreaker.
stop.
This is for everything.
Okay, this is it.
Okay.
When driving in fog, rain, or snow, use high beam headlights, no headlights, parking lights only, or low beam headlights. This is for all the marbles, people.
Oh, geez.
Tiebreaker.
I think-
Come on, this is a great gift. Oh. D, you guys all got it right.
Yay.
Well, we're out of time and you're all
there we
winners.
go.
So you
Okay.
know what?
Ding,
That's
ding,
how it
ding.
should be.
That's
Ding,
fun.
ding, ding. That was
That's
very
fun.
fun.
Okay.
You all
DMV
hit the
isn't going
road.
to take our licenses.
Can you slice it into 3 pieces?
I will.
then?
I will chop it up.
They're pretty strong.
Everyone gets bragging rights. Thank you all so much.
you.
Good job. And I'm not so sure the roads are safer after this, but actually, I think they might be. Coming up, we look back at what was happening in the world and our own hometown 16 years ago, from the Barefoot Bandit to thriller flash mobs. Oh yeah, after this. It was 16 years ago that New Day launched in 2010, and the world was a simpler place back then. Katy Perry and Snoop Dogg would team up for California Girls, while Train created the earworm Hey Soul Sister. That one's still buzzin'. And speaking of buzzin', remember this? The Vuvuzela. We thought it would be fun to look back on this and much more 16 years ago to what was happening in the world, and this show was just the beginning. And of course, we called on historian Felix Bonnell for all of the memories. Felix, thank you for being here.
Hey, happy 16th.
Yes, Sweet 16. First, I want to talk about 2010, when the show started. You've done the research, so I feel like we should start nationally. Lingering recovery from 2008 to 2009, the Great Recession.
Yeah, 2008, Washington Mutual Bank failed, the largest bank failure in the history of the United States, right here in little old Seattle. So in 2010, we were still kind of trying to shake that off and bounce back. And we weren't quite there yet. It was still pretty rough years here for the economy back in 2010. Yeah.
Definitely. And you said that looking at, the segment that we did with Darcy, the beginning of that gave a little nugget of that.
I think Margaret said something like, nobody's really buying new clothes right now, so how do we freshen up? We accessorize with scarves. So it was sort of a, not quite the Great Depression of the 1930s, but it was the Great Recession, and people were trying to be creative. And thank goodness, New Day was here to help people in their hour of need, as you have been now for 16 years.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I want to talk about an earthquake, too, that was big in 2010, the Haiti earthquake.
Haiti in January 12th of 2010, 7.0 magnitude, hundreds of thousands of people killed, if not in the direct
Awful.
earthquake, but as a result of disease and stuff afterwards. Just a huge, huge mess, and scary earthquake that you have no control over when they're going to happen, but you have to respond to them.
Absolutely, and looking back at these photos, just heartbreaking on the world in 2010. Chilean miners, this was also big news, rescued after 2 months
Crazy.
underground.
August of 2010, 33 guys are trapped underground.
33.
It takes them 69 days to rescue them. They all survive. They drill a special tunnel, they get food down to them and everything. And then in October of that year, they get them out of the ground. And it's one of these feel-good stories people really glommed onto. They followed it day by day, and then when the people were rescued, it's like, hallelujah. Very, very gratifying story. Nice.
I remember seeing those photos that we saw when they come up,
Yep.
And it, like you said, just so impactful, and everybody wants that happy ending. Obamacare signed into law the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, March 23rd of 2010. We just had the anniversary a couple days ago. It came into effect as a law a couple of years later, but this is when people are required to carry medical insurance. You can't just rely on going to the emergency room anymore. You have to create this medical marketplace. Really changed the way healthcare was managed in this country. There's still some issues with it. People want to get rid of it. People want to reinforce it, but it really did change the way we address medical healthcare in this country. And it wasn't officially called Obamacare, but that's the name that stuck. And when people name something, a name they make up, that's a sign that it's a good name and that it works and they know about it.
Good point. turn our attention now to local news. This is our local superhero we're going to talk about, Phoenix Jones. This is when he emerged. There he is.
Yeah, he's dressed like a superhero. He's on the streets of Seattle. He's first doing stuff in 2010, you know, kind of getting in the way of, in the middle of assaults and stuff going on. Some of the police are complaining about him. He's not exactly, sort of a mercurial. He kind of makes people feel different ways about it, but he really gets all this national media attention in 2011. And he's this big popular figure because he's stepping into crime and trying to help people and patrolling the streets of Seattle. And not unlike the Chilean miners, there's a fantasy with this. People think like, oh good, in spite of all the problems we have, you know, the Great Recession, there's this superhero now protecting us on the streets. It's mythology, right? People love mythology. I get why people like superhero movies, so we kind of had this little taste of our own local superhero for a while. There's a new documentary out about him. It's at South by Southwest, premiered a couple weeks ago. I haven't seen it, but and you know he's led a relatively quiet life in recent years. But this guy Ben Fodor, so he's from Seattle. He is Phoenix Jones, and he was what the city needed there that brief moment
what I was
16 years
Batman.
ago.
Phoenix
the
Jones,
idea of
our own Batman.
It's such a great fantasy to think that there could actually be real superheroes, but you know.
It is a fantasy, but hey, he's got his new documentary, so must be doing something right. Winter Olympics in Vancouver, BC. This was also going on. American skier Bodie Miller.
Yeah, he won a gold, a silver, and a bronze. Canadians won like 14 gold medals. Americans won 9. February of 2010, one of the most successful Olympics of all time. I remember when they awarded it in 2003, and 2010 seemed like a long way in the future. And now we're 2010 to 16 years ago. My head is spinning. It's so long ago.
Same with me. It can't be that long. Please no. Delayed Boeing 787 debuted at an air show in July. This was a big deal for us, right?
Yeah, the Dreamliner was delayed for years. They rolled it out in 2007, and it was like, oh yeah, the Dreamliner. But then they didn't fly it till late 2009. But then it makes its big public splash, its coming out party in the summer of 2010 at Farnborough, the big air show in the UK. And it catches on. Starts flying for the public in 2011. It goes into airliner service. And Boeing did something different. They did all the pieces elsewhere and tried to assemble it in one place. It worked. Sometimes it didn't work. They learned a lot from it. And it's I've flown on it a few times. Very comfortable airplane. Very nice experience.
Ooh, and of course, the Barefoot Bandit. Everyone was talking about him.
Yes.
He was arrested. Colton Harris Moore. What can you tell us about this?
Kid born in 1991. They think he stole something like 100 planes and cars and other vehicles. Oftentimes he'd be barefoot, so he'd leave footprints behind. They called him the Barefoot Bandit. Eventually he's captured in the Bahamas after stealing an airplane in Indiana and flying it all the way to the Bahamas. Grew up on Camino Island, so he's a local guy. Eventually went to prison because he was captured in July of 2010. He's out now. It's been very quiet. Haven't heard much from him. But, you know, he's one of these kind of a divisive figures. Some people say, oh, you're glorifying a criminal. But he's also a folk hero because he would leave contributions, you know, to support animal shelters and stuff. It's sort of one of these people glom onto mythology, whether it's Phoenix Jones or the Barefoot Bandit. This is something that people they could really kind of fantasize about and feel good about, even though he was a criminal.
Yep. And some trends I want to talk about. Paddleboarding went mainstream. Have you tried this? I love paddleboarding.
I've never done it. I don't get it. Well,
what?
Stand up and think
Yoga.
I can barely
great.
stand up straight in a TV studio, let alone on a floating piece of wood.
Okay, well then how about the year of the flash mob? Let's listen into some Thriller coming.
Have you ever been in a Other times, just hundreds of people would show up at like Westlake Park, and someone would play Thriller on a big boombox or whatever, and they'd all dance, and it was
People would get engaged this way too. You know, a little flash mob. They were really into it.
It's so 2010.
It's so 2010. Then to the annoyance of us all, this was the year of this guy, and here it is too. We're going to listen to the World Cup in South Africa too, and if you want to give that a try.
I've never played one before, and it's just like a paddleboard. I might fall off and hurt myself. Let's try. Makes my cheeks puff up, but sure, it's very, very attractive. Very nice, thank you.
It was.
Make sure you sanitize
very
that
nice.
before you let the intern play with it. I did the sound pretty well, I thought.
You did.
It's the first time I've ever played it.
It's honestly like I was right there, so.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in Cape Town.
Thank you so much, Felix. This has been so fun to take a look back, and I know we have much more, so thank you.
My pleasure. Congratulations.
Thanks. And what was your life like as a 16-year-old? Team New Day looks back as we close out our Sweet 16 celebration. That's coming up next.
It's a new day.
Welcome back. It's almost time to blow out the candles on New Day's Sweet 16 birthday celebration. But before we say goodbye, you know we had to get in a round of hot topics. And joining me on today's panel are my New Day colleagues Spencer Brown, Marcus Teets, and Rebecca Perry. Happy show birthday, everyone. Yay! We're celebrating with cake. We made this earlier, or decorated it at least, and it has Northwest flavor, so blackberry, lemon, enjoy. And then we also have in front of us some snacks that really bring us back to when we were 16 years old. I'm cracking up at everyone's. Mine, Gushers. I was obsessed with these, like fruit snacks, Gushers, and then mac and cheese. And I have a hot take. This was one of the only things I knew how to make back then. And I would, instead of putting in milk or anything, I would, drain it. Sure. Maybe keep a little water in there and then put in butter. Makes it creamy, so delicious, and I still do that. So
I'm not mad at that.
Thank you.
I'm on the same page. When you're at the crib and you run out of milk and you just have just water, hey,
That works
water
too.
has to do, it works too.
And I think it's healthier than if you're not putting in a bunch of milk. I don't know, that was but then I know I add the butter.
We could
so
say it's healthier.
We could say that.
Let's just go with that.
I'm still all about this. What does everyone else have? Rebecca, cup of noodles. I loved these.
This was like every day at lunch. You
Yes.
had cup of noodles. I also loved sprees. Back in my day, when I was 16, they were hard sprees and they came in like a roll.
Yeah.
So these aren't my favorite, but I don't think they make those anymore.
Chewy is the only way to go.
Have you ever?
love
Have you ever?
chewy.
You've never.
I
don't
had
know
your
the
first
spree.
spree. I know.
No, what is free? Interchange
Marcus, what do you have that, or Marcus?
I got a little beef jerky, this is my go-to, my favorite, to this day, this is my crutch. If I'm addicted to anything, it's beef jerky.
The protein or the meat? I mean, what is it about
It's
it?
just the saltiness.
Salty,
I mean, it gets stuck in my teeth every time, but I always come back.
Now I'm going to
Always
be
come
watching
back.
you at your desk if you're just chomping on some beef jerky.
Give me some breath mints.
Spence, what do you have here?
Just a classic Sour Patch Kid.
Classic.
Love them. Kind of like a Spree, although a Spree is like a mix between like a Smartie
I know, what
and
do you
like a
think?
Skittle. It's good. It's really dry. It's drier
It's a
than I
little
thought it would be.
Yeah, it's
But-
tart too. Tarter than I remember.
I'm here for it. Though. I
That's
love a
all
gummy.
part of it, the flavor
Yeah.
profile. What was important to us when you think back to 16-year-old Spencer? Not that long ago for you, long for us. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But what was important to you at 16?
Oh, at 16, I was like super into just like music and photography.
Oh.
So I was like, that's like all my friends and I would do. We'd go like record shopping, and then we'd have like really bad like DSLRs, but like really not great, and we'd just like take pictures all the time. Because it was also like right when Instagram was kind of like hitting hard.
Yes,
so.
you had to get those likes. What about you, Rebecca?
So I was 16 back in the late 90s. Yeah, I'm that old. So I was really into the show Friends. Back the first time around when it was cool. And then I was a cheerleader and a dancer and school. Those were like my three, like that's all
The
my time went to
trifecta.
that. So.
Okay, Marcus, thoughts?
I mean, when I was 16, it's all about getting in a car, get your crew together. You guys are cruising to the mall. You're playing sports. You're going to practices. It's the first time you have like freedom. You can get away from the house and do what you want.
Yeah.
So that's.
Did
what it
you
was about
have a car? Like, did you get the car with the bow on it on the 16th birthday?
Girl, I wish.
Because I didn't.
I didn't either.
I got the 1984 station wagon. But
Yes.
the whole crew piled in. You turn the music up as loud as you want, and you just bump going down the street with
And
all
it didn't
with all your
matter.
friends. Didn't
Yeah.
matter. Everyone wanted to ride.
Yeah.
I know my
So it's
brother
good.
had our minivan that I was so embarrassed, did not want to drive, but they called him Minivan Matt, and he embraced it. He loved it.
Yeah.
So he wore that with a badge of honor. I was really into horseback riding. I showed competitively in hunter jumpers. I was also a cheerleader. And so you guys saw earlier my boyfriend, my little high school sweetheart. I was all about him, I guess, too. That's kind of what like comes to mind when I think about my Sweet 16. But I did not have a Sweet 16 party. Did anyone else? Because I used to love that show where they would have the huge bashes, like Lil Wayne came to one episode. Did anyone have a bash?
I didn't have a bash, but I've known people to have bashes, and they're like wild, and it's just so upscale, and you feel like you're like, I'm 16, I shouldn't be here.
It's like
This
a
is
wedding almost.
Yeah.
Seriously, you're
we're all
paying like
children.
$100,000 for a 16-year-old.
For like a concert and like fake drinks. Like, I don't know what's happening here.
I
It's like a
don't
club, but
either.
not.
That's wild.
Did you have a party?
I never had one, although I do have a 15-year-old who is turning 16 in September. And so we've already been having these discussions.
She wants a party.
She wants, okay, this is what she said she wants to do. She wants to get a hotel room in downtown Seattle.
Okay.
And then with her friends go walk. I'm like, where in downtown Seattle? It's a big place. Because we're in the suburbs, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're working on it, but I'll let
That's
you know.
really
I'll report back.
interesting. That's
Yeah.
fun. I
Okay.
like that idea. I would like that for my birthday this
Yeah,
year.
I want that now.
Marcus, did you have a big party?
Well, no, we didn't have a big party. I mean, it was just kind of just friends at the house, and here's your station wagon. Do what you do.
Yes.
My dad also, we had a station wagon and the hubcap was missing, and when he'd pick me up, it was just so embarrassing. But shout out to you, Chuck. You're the best. Doesn't matter. Slang words, you guys. When I think back to when I was 16, a lot of my girlfriends were always saying like hella, hella
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
just like the big one that I was thinking back to. Slang now. I mean, what is your daughter saying?
So what did they just say last night that was... Okay, come back to me and I'm going to remember
Some
what
people
she
call
just
their
said.
parents like bro, but it's not bruh.
Bruh. My
Yeah,
son,
bruh.
who's almost 14, calls me Lil Bruh. I'm like, how does that work?
I love that.
What about you guys? Remember any like slang words, or is there
Yeah.
anything now that kids say that you're like, what?
I remember back in the day we used to say dope,
Yeah.
fresh,
Yeah.
for show.
Da
For show.
Yeah.
Da bomb.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
bomb.com was also
yes.
a big thing we said.
Yeah.
Bomb.com.
All that and a bag of chips.
Yeah.
So not that for me. Not that for me.
Showing my age.
Yeah, it was a lot of like lit.
Oh, that's
and,
lit.
like squad, like it was like squad goals.
Yeah.
On Fleek, remember that?
Oh,
Yeah.
we're on fleek right
Is that
now.
still around?
You guys, this is so fun. Thank you so much for being here. And I feel like if all of our 16-year-old selves could say something right now, it'd probably be proud of where we are today.
Right.
And so thank you so much for being here and for making New Day what it is. And it's been fun. So
Yay.
happy Sweet 16.
Happy Sweet 16.
Enjoy some cake.
Let's do
Okay?
it. Let's do it.
Dive into your snacks. And thank you to you all for spending time with us today on our show's birthday. For more New Day fun, subscribe on YouTube and be sure to download King 5 Plus for free. Don't forget to enjoy your New Day, and we'll see you next time.